Welcome to the Educational Ecosystem Blueprint. In this strategic playbook, we will explore the essential transition within academic institutions from static, traditional administration to active, total quality management, or TQM. Let's unpack the framework required to build a dynamic learning ecosystem. To understand educational management, we must break down its anatomy. As management expert Harold Kuntz famously defined it, management is the art of getting work done by formally organized groups. It requires the efficient utilization of all available resources to achieve an objective. Our main objective is balancing effectiveness, which means achieving targets on time, with efficiency or the optimum utilization of resources. In reality, this is a pervasive, continuous, and dynamic social process requiring constant adaptation to social, economic, and political shifts. It operates across three core dimensions: the management of people and their group needs, the management of work goals and tasks, and the management of operations throughout the production cycle. To progress, we must understand the paradigm shift between traditional administration and modern management. Think of administration as the structural framework, while management is the operational engine. Administration serves a determinative function, setting macro policies, boundaries, and deciding what is to be done at a top organizational level. Management, on the other hand, is an executive function operating at the middle level. It leverages specialist skills to make dynamic decisions, execute policies, and put plans into practice. Effective educational leadership requires mastering this crucial transition from passive administration to active, process-driven management. Every educational ecosystem is fueled by the resource triad. At the core of our educational objectives are three intersecting asset categories. First, human resources, the vital operators including teaching staff, non-teaching staff, students, parents, and community members. This group requires constant motivation, retention, and development. Second, physical resources, the concrete infrastructure like buildings, laboratories, libraries, and equipment that form the spatial foundation for learning. And third, ideational resources, the intangible assets such as curriculum, innovative instructional methods, institutional heritage, and organizational values. Success lies where these three domains meet. When we look at a school as a system architecture, we see a continuous transformation loop. It begins with inputs, our resources like students, teachers, infrastructure, and financial grants. These inputs flow into the process stage, where teaching learning activities, administrative decisions, and co-curricular programs take place. This transformation yields our outputs: student academic achievement, intended competencies, behavioral skills, and institutional reputation. Crucially, the loop is completed by using examination results, parent feedback, and accreditation reports to continuously adjust and refine our inputs and processes. At the center of this architecture sits the headmaster, the central processor. As Jaswant Singh noted, the principal is the hub of the educational process, the keystone balancing all resources. The leader operates across three orbits. The inner orbit handles planning and the office, serving as the institution's life center for budgeting and safeguarding resources. The middle orbit focuses on teaching and supervision. Here, the leader must be a teacher first, acting as a lighthouse of knowledge and providing cooperative guidance rather than fault-finding. Finally, the outer orbit manages community and society, maintaining dynamic relationships with parents, philanthropic groups, and community experts. How a leader rules defines the culture. The leadership diagnostic spectrum categorizes three primary styles. Autocratic leadership offers fast speed but low staff buy-in. While it brings quick decisions and strict discipline, it risks harboring dissent and personal bias. On the opposite end, laissez-faire leadership delegates entirely, giving subordinates free rein with zero micromanagement, but can lead to procrastination and goal failure if left unmonitored. The ideal zone is democratic or participative leadership. It balances speed with high buy-in by decentralizing power, fostering ownership, and tapping into the collective intelligence of the teaching staff. To modernize our institutions, we must upgrade our educational software by shifting our curriculum viewpoint. The traditional view treats curriculum as a fragmented, rigid syllabus of isolated subjects prepared by teachers purely for basic education. In contrast, the progressive view defines curriculum as the total learning experiences of the individual. As Caswell and Campbell put it, it encompasses all experiences children have under the guidance of teachers. It is dynamic, activity-based, human development-oriented, and deeply rooted in reflective thinking. Alongside the curriculum, supervision methods must evolve. The outdated pathway of administration views supervision as pure fault-finding. Driven by administrative authority, it focuses solely on checking physical facilities and criticizing teachers without offering actionable solutions. The modern pathway of management redefines supervision as guiding. It is characterized by a cooperative, participatory spirit. The goal is improving the overall teaching-learning situation by demonstrating concepts, observing actual teaching, and offering constructive suggestions in private. To support our educators, we implement a 360-degree teacher appraisal architecture. This performance matrix relies on 4 balanced pillars. First, instructional skills, evaluating pedagogy, lesson planning, and classroom management. Second, student performance, looking for demonstrable improvement in academic results and formative assessments. Third, professional behavior, tracking punctuality, emotional maturity, positive interactions, and meticulous record maintenance. And fourth, continuous development, encouraging active participation in workshops, collaborative research, and a growth mindset. This brings us to the core quality imperative, total quality management in education. TQM is a comprehensive approach to organizational management that seeks continuous improvement of products and services through ongoing refinements based on feedback. In an educational application, it is a philosophy that integrates fundamental management techniques with human resources to exceed the needs of the educational customer. This marks a profound paradigm shift. In TQM, quality is defined by customer-based standards where the student is the primary focus. Quality cannot simply be inspected at the very end. It must be built into the educational process from the start. Implementing TQM requires 3 distinct cultural transformations. First, we must shift from hierarchy to teaming, moving from heavily compartmentalized departments to cross-department improvement teams with the authority to solve problems. Second, we transition from fear to empowerment, replacing traditional do-it-to-them evaluation systems with an empowered staff that identifies quality problems through self-inspection. Third, we move from opinion to measurement, replacing management by intuition with management by data, utilizing objective statistical methods and constant feedback to eliminate bottlenecks. The grand synthesis of this model is the TQM educational flywheel, built upon the classic continuous improvement cycle. It begins with plan, defining high-quality standards, clear aims, and a progressive curriculum. Next is do, implementing instructional strategies while ensuring the headmaster effectively orchestrates human, physical, and ideational resources. Then we check, monitoring quality using student outcome data and our 360-degree teacher appraisals to identify systemic friction. Finally, we act, providing cooperative supervision, upgrading professional development, and adjusting resource inputs based on data to begin the cycle anew. The road to quality is not without friction. Institutions must navigate a dashboard of obstacles. These include cultural resistance, such as deep-rooted rigid traditions, academic silos, and staff resentment toward treating students as vital stakeholders. There are resource and authority gaps, specifically a lack of ultimate authority for institutional heads and talent management, coupled with insufficient funding. Finally, watch out for implementation failures, like improper long-term planning, lack of continuous training, or relying on subjective intuition instead of objective data. The key takeaway is that TQM requires a dedicated 5-year cultural commitment. It cannot succeed without absolute management commitment and robust teamwork. Ultimately, our future state is the creation of a true knowledge society. By breaking down traditional hierarchies, passive administration, and siloed departments, we unlock collaborative learning, global connectivity, and continuous improvement loops. This journey gives us a clear mandate. Without continuous improvement in educational management, society cannot successfully progress. Institutional leaders must evolve from passive administrators into dynamic central hubs, orchestrating resources through participative leadership. Quality must become the very essence of our education system. Thriving in a world-class environment demands our unwavering commitment to total quality management. Thank you for participating in the blueprint for the future of education.